As anxious to see as everybody was how our team was going to respond from, not opening up with our best game for sure. We didn't play well at first game, and we didn't let that define us. We come back, we played well at home, and this, it's difference at home. I mean, it's we had a great crowd. Atmosphere was top notch. With Southerners, cheerleaders, cocky, just everybody. I think we had close to 20,000 people, so it was a good night all the way around. Night game was good, so and we beat a good Chattanooga team. So like I said, sitting here with the same growth that you need to do as a team, looking from week to week. So we still made some mistakes that we got to correct, and some things that we did well that we did a lot better than we did in the opener. So I did see a will to win from our team. Every time that we knew Chattanooga wasn't going to quit. It's always a really good game. And they we could never put them all the way away, and they battle back and get it back to a one-score game. I did that a couple times, and then our team responded. So it was just good to see. When they would score, our offense come back and we'd score again, and we didn't get rattled. So it was like I said, it was a good night all the way around. Came out of it pretty healthy and excited about moving on to this next week. Another game at home, but really great opponent coming in, Eastern Washington. Got a little bit of history with them. Played them back in 2013. First year here, they're always in the national hunt, so it's this is like a quarterfinal, semifinal type game. They're always a second round, a finals type team. I think won a national championship in 2010, so, they're predominantly do a really good job. And you kind of see that on film. They played in the finals last year. A lot of guys on offense back. We got the same trigger guy. He come in when the starter got hurt last year, about game 2 or 3, and led them to the national championship game. And he's a good football player. But they got, I think, 10 out of 11 starters back on offense. 4 out of 5 offensive line wise. But the other guy started probably 8 games last year. So it's like having 5 seniors up front. So really good up front, offensive line wise, and the quarterback makes them go. He makes plays. They don't really have just a standout wide receiver. They're all really, really good, and they got a good unit there. And then, defensively, they lost some guys, but the guys they got back, they got some starters back, but they also got guys that played a lot and started a lot of games. So, they're really good on defense, solid on defense. So just good football. So it's what you expect from them, and it's going to be a great game Saturday afternoon. So it's going to be fun to watch. We're looking forward to a good crowd and just another game at home.
Could both players talk and give some thoughts about getting a chance to play Eastern Washington, a pretty big game with 2 teams with a pretty big national reputation, getting a chance to go at each other?
You want to start?
It's going to be great for us because they always go to the championship. They always play at a high level, and that's what we try to do, play at a high level. So it's going to be a great game competing.
I definitely think it'll be exciting. They're very consistent with what they do. As far as all the, national and recognition and things like that, I think we're just focused on the game. All of that's for, everybody outside. We just focus on playing. We know they're going to come in and compete, and we look to do the same.
Coach, what were your thoughts when you saw that Eastern Washington on the schedule was a possibility?
I was excited about the game. You look at FCS matchups, don't get any better than that during the year, and I think you need to play, these type games. It just prepares you, again, for conference play, and it prepares you for playoffs. So anytime you put your team in this situation, this type of environment, it's really good. Now, I am glad that we got the first one at home. I don't know if I'll be saying that in a couple of years when we got to go back out there. So I am glad they've got to come to us, and but it's always good to play these type of games. Like I said, it only helps you, when you go into the playoffs. And I'd rather play this type game now, than I would the latter part of the season like we did last year. We played Kennesaw that last game. I don't think me or Bohannon either one like that, having to play that game before you go into the playoffs. So you'd rather just end your conference and go into the playoffs. So I think we got 4 out-of-conference games is really like playoff games. You look at, the Southeastern game, we didn't play well and got beat, but, that they're a to me, I think they're going to shock some people down the line. They're a playoff contender type team out of the Southland. So, same thing with Chattanooga. Chattanooga will be up here in SoCon and battle for a playoff spot. So, anytime you play these type games, I think it helps you. And Eastern Washington, like I said, they're year in, year out a perennial power. And anytime you play a game like that, I think it helps your program.
Coach, could you talk about Daniel? Because it seems like the last two games, when Coop targets Daniel, the ball's caught. There's no drops. He seems to do a pretty good job on that.
Well, Daniel's just, Bird's just consistent of guys we got at the receiver position. And, receiver position's a deep position, especially for us this year. We got more depth there than we've ever had, which is a blessing, and it's a position that, it can be a curse too. It's time, position, receivers like to get the ball, So I say this, Daniel goes by his job humbly and just blocks when he needs blocks, runs the right routes. He knows his assignments, all those things. So, to me, he's a leader out of that room. He's kind of the glue that kind of holds everybody together. And, we got a lot of good players there. And they got to be patient at times. And that's hard because they're competitors and they want to play and they want the ball. And I think being as deep as we've ever been is an advantage for us. Those guys can play full speed and, not worry about anything about getting tired during the game or anything. Just know they got to make the most of their reps. And like you said, Daniel, when he gets an opportunity, he does the best for that opportunity he can. So he's very consistent with the way he runs routes and the way he catches the ball. But another part of his game is, he's on top of his assignments and he blocks very, very well on the perimeter. So you see all these little bubble screens, fast screens, that pop. There's a lot of good blocking that goes along with that. But, Daniel's been very consistent, as long as he's been in our program. He's got coming here red-shirted and, went to defense and, stayed over there a couple of years, and he bounces back to offense, and has been a mainstay for us there the last 2 years.
Yul, I noticed you nodding your head in agreement. Could you give some of your thoughts on what you see of Daniel?
Bird a great route runner. He give us a different release every time he come out the ball. He come off fast every time, blocking. Even if it's a run play, he gonna come off and run you 60 yards down the field to get you out the play. I like going against Bird.
Dan, could you talk about kind of what you've done to make yourself into a consistent player like you are?
Honestly, I would say it took place probably this past offseason. I just made it a very important decision to get my body in true shape so I can be consistent and run. But it also took place just in the film room, seeing the game from, Coop size, just so I can help get there faster in the lanes that he needs to get the ball in, and blocking, just finding the little niche that can help me win that matchup. So it's the small things that have helped me.
How much does it help that the film room is now in your living room?
It's great. It's actually a great thing. We have purchased a projector screen, and we have a projector, so we pull up film, and like on Sundays we're in there, and if we're playing Uno, and after Uno or watching a Sunday game, we're on to like the next thing. So I just actually got done talking to Coop downstairs, and he just wrote his notes, so when we get to the house, we'll go over the notes and be ready and getting prepared for this week.
Now, Coop says you cheat at Uno, is that right?
That is not true. Josh will say he's the best Uno player, but I am outright the best Uno player.
That's where we can get better right there. We got to change the card game. How can you be the best? It's just who gets the cards right. I mean, it's no strategy to Uno.
Well, see,
is that right?
We play a different form of Uno. Like there's regular
you play
Uno.
A high level.
Yeah, like we added some rules with the red 9, and if the last person slapped their hand on the red 9 has to draw 9 cards, or you can hop.
We got to
out
play
a
some like
turn.
Rook or something like that.
Rook's fun too.
So,
Rook's fun.
Daniel, could you talk a little bit about Yul and the job he does? 'Cause he's not just a good cover guy in the back end. He also returns kicks, which of course you have to do on punts.
Definitely. Yul is great. It's not a day goes by that we're constantly out there talking. It was just last week we were talking, and I was trying to find little details because he's so great and such a fast guy that you try to find ways to beat him, but he's going to be right there. So he was just giving me insight on little things. So he's very in tune with what we're doing. He's one of the best corners in the nation. I will stand on and firmly say that he understands the game. Since he's came in, he's done everything coach has asked him to do, never had a problem out of him. He's been where he's supposed to be, and he continues to only get better and progress. And it's going to be nothing but good things for the next couple years that he's here.
Coach Cross, could you add a little bit about Yul?
Very consistent, like Daniel said. That's one of the things. He works at his craft. He's one of the guys we got does all the extra stuff. You have to almost slow him down sometimes in the off season. He almost overtrains and overworks, and we've had several conversations about that. But he's a guy that'd be out there at 8, 9 o'clock at night on the field. He's out there early, so he puts in the extra work to be good and goes the extra mile, and plays tremendously hard, and it means a lot to him. He's a competitor, and he's got him returning kicks this year, which he has not done, and doing a great job there. If we quit holding and get penalties on kickoff returns, he'd probably be leading the nation or up there at the top on returns. So he's had some good ones. So like I said, he's just very, very consistent in his play.
You said y'all talk. Is that trash talking, or y'all just really talking in practice?
You and I don't have a lot of trash talk because it's just good competition. It's like it's great competition. I'm getting better, and like he said, like we rarely, when we're going against each other, we try not to take a play off, even if it's a run play. We're trying to work a craft because I want to see it from full speed. Because in the game, you're gonna have time where it's run plays, but you still want to keep the corner engaged. So we try to keep that look in practice.
Did you play offense in high school?
Like my 9th grade and 10th grade year, but ever since then I played defensive back.
So now that you're getting your hands on the ball kickoffs, I guess that's not.
Oh yeah, I played punt return, kickoff return in high school. I loved it.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the execution of the offensive line? They got hammered a week ago.
Should have said a little bit more about them in the opener. They had a rough start. As young, and got their first game, and 4 out of 5 is new guys, and just even the guys you're rolling in are new and have no game experience. And a little different when you're taking live bullets, and they didn't fare too well that first game, and they wasn't all just them, but I mean they didn't play very well, and they knew it. So they kind of rebounded and had a great week of practice, and got a lot tougher, I think, just mentally, and played much better the other night. Was able to establish a little bit of a run game, and got a hat on hat in protection and the run game, and it was just a big difference. So really proud of the way they played and how much improvement they showed from game 1 to game 2, and I think they're going to continue doing that. I've said it all season. They're a talented bunch. They just got to get those game reps and get better.
You mentioned after the Chattanooga game that you was happy with the progression that you saw, but there's still some improvements that you'd like to see be made. Is there anything in particular heading into this week that y'all are wanting to focus on?
I think he's continue to get better at all the things that we're doing. Like I said, the offensive line is going to get better. It's kind of like when you learn more from trial and tribulation than you do anything else. That you get better at what you're doing. So those guys will get better, but I think execution offensively, the snap got better, which helped us, and getting hat on hat really helped us. And then some things that we got to do on third downs, defensively, and just continue to get better blocking and tackling. We missed some tackles the other night we'd like to have back, and I think we'll get better as we go.
How tough is it making it on the offensive play calling? Not inside the 30, didn't kick a field goal on 4th down. How tough is that? Does it make it tough on play calling? Or?
No, not really. It makes it a little easier. The third down's not the last one, so you got to run. You can run it on 3rd down, and you got the 4th down to throw it, or vice versa. You just got 2 downs there, so it's not a bad deal. Sometimes you get in that no man's land between the 25 and the 40 right there. That's you look at you're in 2 down territory, and we'll continue doing that some. And we have one of our kickers step up and show us that they're consistent in practice, making it from there.
Daniel, what did you think of Coop's 4th down throw and Barry's catch?
Magic. It was it was one of those plays. I mean, you're on the sideline or you're in the stands and you're sitting there and you just see that ball go there and everybody's eyes kind of just gets big. But I think that's one of our strengths, and I love it about our team. We really don't care who makes the play. It just has to be made. And Trey was having a tremendous night, and he came through again, and Coop put it up there. And that's another thing about Coop. He trusts us to make the play. So he's going to give us the opportunity regardless of what's going on. He's going to give us the opportunity to make a play.
Coach, I was going to ask you, Go back to 2013, the trip out there in the playoffs. I know you were the OC at that time, but I guess you saw them. With the coaching change now, that guy was there on the staff. Are they doing the same thing on offense now that they were doing then?
Very, very similar. Everybody, of course, the game evolves and changes continuously, but, base system is pretty much identical, and, they've changed and adapted different things to it, and, different quarterback, but, this guy's very comparable to, Vernon, and, plays very, very similar. Both of them got wheels and, can run and, good arm, accurate, all those things, know the offense really well. So, very, very similar, and they do the same type things, and I think the head coach now has been there almost 20 years as a player and coach, and just does a really good job.
How deep are they compared to you guys, and did you throw a few extra dollars to the meteorologist to try to get the temperature?
We hope the humidity percentage is really high on Saturday. I won't hide that fact for sure. So, we just I think we're a pretty deep football team. We're trying to play a lot of guys, but they do too. I think every good program does. I mean, you just don't play the same 22 guys all the time. You got to develop your depth, and that's the reason, they lost some guys last year defensively. All these guys that they're playing right now had starts under their belt and played some defense last year. They got a couple redshirt, guys that didn't play, like I think one corner maybe, but everybody else, really played. So it's like they got a veteran group back defensively as well. So they're a deep football team as well, and I think it goes back to your recruiting, and they do a really nice job, I think, of recruiting and getting guys in, and, that shows you that they got, 40 guys plus that can play.
How hot was it for you guys on the field Saturday?
How hot?
Yeah.
It wasn't very hot to me. Like those night games are beautiful, and honestly, once you're in the game, at least for me, once I'm in the game, I'm not really thinking about it. Like, you hydrate through the week, you prepare all week for it. It's hot during practice. We do a great job. I love that we practice at the time we do, because we get prepared for heat all week during this time. So it's not much of a difference to prepare for it.
Definitely hotter than the game.
It's a little hotter at 3:30 than it is at 6.
Yeah, practice was way hotter than the game. Like, the beginning of the game, it was a little hot, but not really. Then the sun went down. It was good.
The last 2 weeks, it's been as hot as it's been all year. I think we had a couple of days start of fall camp. It was pretty hot, but the last 2 weeks in practice has been roasting for sure.